Hi, I'm Cecelia Sterling, and these are the adventures of Superchic. I have a story to share. This story came up last week because a friend of mine started a real estate. Well, she started down a real estate adventure path. Let's just say that. Very beginning stage. And she's talking to me about the house and what she's considering. And there was this little hiccup in what she was describing. And it was a small part, again, early in the process. And I noticed it and I thought, what? Did you feel comfortable asking for what you needed there at that step? And well, then and she just kept going with the process. And it immediately reminded me of this negotiation I was in a year and a half ago. So it was brought to the forefront. I'm sharing it here today. So about a year and a half ago, it's the morning. I'm in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth. And Lillian's about 3 at the time. And she comes up to me and says, Mom, can I just watch one episode and then I'm done? And it's a direct quote. Like I generally say to her, you can watch 2 episodes and then we'll be done with the TV. You can watch 1 episode and then we'll be done. And for whatever reason, this particular moment, I look at her and I realize at 3 years old, she's already under asking. She doesn't want to watch 1 episode. She wants to watch as many as possible. So she is asking for something. She's hoping if she asks in a certain way, she'll get some part of what she wants, right? 3 years old. And I just looked at her and I said, do you really want to watch 1 episode or what do you really want? Like, would you really actually want to watch 2 or more episodes? Yes! Like, can I watch 2 or 3 or, And I said, you can watch 2 episodes and then we'll be done. But I'm just sort of struck by how soon she's under asking, right? And why do I even have that awareness today? And 10 minutes later, my phone rings and I answer it and it's my property manager. So I have a new property manager as of maybe a year before that. I don't know him that well. He's calling because the space next to mine in the building is potentially going to be sold. And he asks, would I ever consider selling my lease and moving out? And I say, well, no, I'm not interested in that at this time. But as a business person, I'm open to all conversations. I'm always interested in what people are doing and considering and their hows and their whys. And so I'd absolutely be open to discussing it. And he says, okay, well, do you have a number, like just a starting number, if you were to consider selling your lease? And I immediately started thinking of a number that they might consider for something I don't even know that I necessarily want. And because of my conversation 10 minutes before with my daughter, I start to laugh and I say to him, well, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm a storyteller. So I tell him what's just gone down with my daughter. And I say, so I would like $500,000. And he scoffs. Apparently that's more than what he was thinking. And I say, you asked what I wanted, not what I needed. And at that number, I would move out and not negotiate. I could move out soon. That would move me through whatever process I needed to consider this. And at that number, I'd be happy to move out of the space. And he says, well, that number is way too high, but I'll give your information to this interested party and you two can take it from there. And I say, great. Look forward to hearing from them if they are interested in calling me. Well, fast forward, that person does purchase the business next to mine. They do approach me to discuss a purchasing of my lease. And we have a pretty extensive negotiation where we do come to a number that works for both of us. And how grateful I am that I started off from a position of what do I want, as opposed to what do I think they want or need or would be willing to give. I was just so grateful for the opportunity to state that to myself. And this is something that came up later in the real estate conversation with my girlfriend, how challenging sometimes that question and answer conversation is within. What do I want? Sometimes it's even hard to answer it on a page of your own journal, let alone to say it to someone in a meeting that you don't necessarily know or feel safe with or have opposing desires. Wow. And how important is it that you sit with your own self and help notice, give energy and attention and concern to, give consideration to your own wants. And then the second layer to this practice, which is something that I went through during the next steps of my negotiation, was what do I need? Different question, different answer, some things similar, some things different. But if the first point, I don't want to say contention, it's like the first part of this process is connection with self. Before we start meeting the wants and needs of others, before we start figuring out, well, what would work for me and for them, how can we find a common place if I haven't taken the time to consider and give energy and support to my actual wants in the beginning, which is my job. That same girlfriend has a dad who told me when I was young, you look out for you. You're going to do the best job of anyone out there. Isn't that interesting? Full circle. And I was able to bring that back to her. Like, your dad says, you look out for you. What do you want in this? And what do you need? Very important points. And I'll say, like, to the point of that exercise of making that list of my wants and needs during my negotiation process, which is a longer conversation I'll share another day. But there were definitely like hims and haws of it, right? Because it's flexible. But there became a few things on the needs list that weren't flexible. So when I narrowed it down, those were the most accurate needs. And the wants could be anything. I needed to be brave enough and clear enough to share them, both with myself and then, when asked, the other interested party, and not really bother with their response to it. Right? So I ask you today, what do you want, my friend? If you're ready for the next question, what do you need? But give some good love, time, and energy to that. What do you want? It's important. It's important to you. It's important to me. Share your stories with me of asking for what you wanted. Share your stories with me of not asking for what you want, not knowing what you want, divine intervention in a negotiation. I want to hear them all. And with that, I'll say ciao for now. Have a wonderful day. I'm Cecelia Sterling, and these are the adventures of Superchic.